You see, I'm going to add a little bit more water here. Okay, here you go. It just needs a little bit more water here. Remember, you're going to use the water because you'll need to put the water in the masa. You need that juice of the meat, okay? So, once again, I tell you to get fresh water, not out of the faucet. You're going to need that water for your tamale, okay? Once it's cooked, you're going to take it and you're going to cut it in pieces once it starts falling apart. Check it every so often so it won't burn on the bottom. And always keep this water nice and cool, because if you'll ruin it if you put it somewhere in a place that's warm. You can't use it for the masa. So always keep that water a place where it's cool, because the next following day I will be making, later on, once it's cooked, I will come back and show you how to cut the meat and put it together. Okay, once again, thank you.
Wow, that meat looks great, and it smells good, too.
Doesn't it, though? Earlier, I discussed with you how to cook this meat, the beef and the pork together. And I reminded you that the pork cooks faster than the meat, the beef meat. Now, after 4 or 5 hours, in fact, I had to go for 6 hours because I put more meat. I had to cut it in order for it to cook. And then I had to remove the pork from the beef, and the beef had to cook a little bit more. Remember, the meat has to be falling apart. I'm going to take it out. Be very careful you don't burn yourself. And I'm going to put it on this pot here. And the water's still hot. So get yourself a big spoon and a big fork. Okay, you're going to have to move. This is actually the pork. Okay, remember, I'm going to try to put this pork here and wait until it gets cool. Excuse me, I'm going to have to move it over here.
Bravo!
That's pretty heavy, isn't it? I had to really do some muscles with this. And since I cooked the beef longer, because beef is hard to cook, the pork is a lot easier. It's falling apart now, and I'm going to show you how it's falling apart. There you go. There you go. I'm going to check if I have any more meat. So, here we go. I always use some pads because it's pretty hot, see? Oh, there's another piece there. Let's put it here so it can go up. Now you have all this juice. You see, you're going to have to clean this juice of the meat because this is going to be in a masa. The masa dries up and you need water. You don't use water. You use the juice of the meat. Gives it flavor, you know, with that garlic and bay leaves. And I will show you how to clean this up right now, okay? Meanwhile, as you can see, excuse me, I will get a knife. If you look over here, I'm going to move this a little. And I'm going to show you how this beef is just right now. Wait until it cools before you start cutting because it gets really hot. So you should wait for your beef to get cool. I'm going to move this juice out. There you go. I'm putting it up here. Now, I'm going to show you by taking off this lard of the beef. You don't want any of the lard from the beef, okay? The lard you're going to take is from the pork, not the beef. So as you can see, look how easy you see how, when I told you have to shred it? That's what I mean, see? Look how easy it comes out. Throw away the pork, the lard out, take it off, make sure the gristle's out. See this? You see how easy that is? It's coming apart, right? When it's cool, you'll be able to take it apart yourself with your hand. Okay. Once it's cool, you want to cut it. You don't want long, stringy tamales, you know, especially with your chili. You want to be able to enjoy it without being so stringy. See that? Here you go. This is your beef. See? And when it's cool, you could take it apart with your hand and also cut it. There you go. There you go. See? Let me show you what it is. Yes, I did wash my hands. There you go. See? You keep on cutting it. Okay, now I'm going to take some pork. Look at this. Oh, how easy. You see, I mentioned to you earlier that pork is easy to fall apart. It cooks faster than beef. See how easy that is? Oh, okay. You don't have to buy this much meat if you're making 5 dozen. I'm making a little bit more, so I had to make more chili, and I had to add more chili bags, okay? I didn't show you that because I just more or less want to show you how it works out. I am going to put, when it's cool, you could do a better job. Make sure with your hand, you take all the gristle, throw away the gristle, check it out, and make sure there's no gristle. See what I'm doing? I'm mixing up the beef and the pork together. And you're going to have to get that like, oh, I hope it's not pretty hot. Don't try not to do this while it's still hot. I'm afraid I'm going to start, I'm going to get a fork, which makes it a little bit easier for me. This is actually to take out. Here you go. You see, there you go. I'm mixing the beef and the pork together. Now you will either use pork alone without the beef, or the beef without the pork. But I mentioned to you that beef is always so dry, not so much the pork. You could either do turkey, chicken, or whatever you want. Anything, okay? I will teach you later on to teach you how to make sweet tamales and maybe mole, chicken mole tamales. Those are delicious. That's made of chocolate, the mole. So as you can see, this is how I try to do it when it's cool. Make sure it's apart. You see how easy it is? I'm just make sure. You see how they're not long and stringly. Let me show you. See? See? You make sure there's no gristle. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Continue. There you go. Once you finish doing this, just put it in there. See, and you continue it. Here you go. Here it is. You see it, and look how easy it comes off. Now, when it cools off, it makes it a better job. My suggestion is to cool off the meat before you take it. I just want to show you a little bit what it looks like, and it's easy. See, here you go. These tamales coming from Sonora, Magdalena, Mexico. My family comes from Sonora, Mexico. This is a delicious recipe that my mother has and her mother. My mom used to sell tamales all the time. My whole family was always in on it. Now I got 3 kids, 3 beautiful kids, 2 girls, 1 boy. My son's a teacher. In fact, he was Teacher of the Year a couple of times in Santa Ana. I'm very proud of him. And my daughter's wonderful. Actually, I consider my daughter very intelligent. Both daughters, they have to be. They take after the big mama, myself. And I have 3 beautiful granddaughters. Alyssa, 16. Skylar, 13. Michaela, 10. And I have 3 beautiful grandsons. Jonathan, Christopher, and Joseph, 20. I believe it's 27, 25, and 23. And 4 great-grandchildren. Oh, boy. This is a lot. But my grandkids, they love it. Especially my son. He likes them nice and hot. I have my little Skylar. Oh, she's a real trooper. She's a strawberry blonde. But she might call herself a little Mexican. Her father's English and Irish. And he's tall, good-looking, blonde. Of course, he's very tall, but that's okay. Because I always say, no matter how short I am, I'm still the boss. There you go. Wonderful salesman. Check, make sure there's no bristle. Continue. There you go. Oh, excuse me. Let me try it in. Okay, there you go. Okay, this is beef. And continue doing this. Anyway, continue cutting it. You see, it's just falling apart. See, this is exactly what I'm telling you. When you see it falling apart like that, it's ready. But check your cooking. Check it every so often, and also turn your meat around so you won't burn it, okay? Add more water if it needs it. Make sure there's a cover to it, and if it pops up, separate the meat and cutting it and still cook it so you'll be able to cook faster, okay? There you go. See? Here we go. See how well done that is? And chop, chop, chop. Make sure you don't want strangly. And always, this water has to be cool. Put in some place where it's cool because you'll ruin it. You'll have to put that water in the masa. And let me take some pork out. There you go. Good piece. Now, here you go. This brings some flavor. There you go. Let's take some of the fat. You need this fat. You see, there's a fat there from the pork. You're going to have to blend it together. See that? That's fat that we need. This is what actually brings the moist, the fat. Make sure the fat's in there. And that would be the butt of the pork. The butt of the pork has fat. So, continue. You're going to have to sort of blend that fat in the meat. Okay, so here you go. We'll continue doing this. This is very good. The meat will always stay moist. Now, if you decide to just do beef, remember the beef is very dry. That's why you need the pork. This is actually done in holidays, especially for Christmas. Oops. Okay. Now, if it's a little bit too, it's a little warm. So you should, it's very hard for me to get. Now we return. Now that we finished making the chili, and making sure you stir it around, and make sure it never to be burned on the bottom because I'll have the taste of the burn. I've gone through the meat using my hand, cutting it, and do it while it's cool because it's sort of hot. Making sure every little strand is open, making sure there's no bristle or anything, and taking the fat of the meat. Oh, there's a little piece there. Take that out, and keep on looking at it. Okay, now you either could do it all in pork, okay. I prefer the pork and the beef because it gets a better taste, but it doesn't make any difference. If you don't want pork, you don't have to have it. You can either do it all pork or all beef. Okay, that's up to you. Now that we finished making the chili, and making sure you stir it around, and make sure it never to be burned on the bottom because I'll have the taste of the burn. I've gone through the meat using my hand, cutting it, and do it while it's cool because it's sort of hot. Making sure every little strand is open, making sure there's no bristle or anything, and taking the fat of the meat. Oh, there's a little piece there. Take that out, and keep on looking at it. Okay, now you either could do it all. Okay. I prefer the pork and the beef because it gets a better taste, but it doesn't make any difference. If you don't want pork, you don't have to have it. You can either do it all pork or all beef. Okay, that's up to you.